Hello and welcome to the 7th video demonstrating some important features of Datamine's production accounting system. In this video we will look at part 1 of the calculation tracer, focusing on the layout of the information and the basic functions. The first item you can see is what we call the attribute ID. Every item in production accounting has a unique code and we call that the attribute ID. The attribute ID is defined as the site name, the object type, whether it's a process flow or location, the category of the item, so generally solids, liquid, carbon for example, then the item itself, whether it's a wet mass, a dry mass, a assay for example, then the units, and finally an attribute. A user doesn't need to memorize all these attribute IDs, but it's good to understand how they are defined. In the brackets here is the actual value of the attribute ID. This is what we're going to use to identify where an error may be. Then you can see a set ID, which again is a brief look into the architecture of production accounting, which shows the flow of information. When a system is built, sets are created automatically and self-managed by the system so that the calculations happen in the correct sequence and information is calculated in the fastest possible way. Then there is basic time and date information for this attribute ID. When you right-click on a line, the most important function to note is the expand children function, which will start showing you the trace of the attribute ID. A good user suggestion is to keep on expanding until you get to the raw information. Thanks for watching, and in the next video we will go through part 2 of calculation tracing.